Hello, everyone. Very good evening. A warm welcome to you for the another episode of our InsightView series. Thank you very much for all your support. This session is going to be a very interesting, and this is something which we take ourselves for granted that uh, we don't process our stress management well enough, or we don't stress give importance for the mental wellness. So we have a wonderful speaker. So Mr. Suraj, our secretary and co-founder of Digital Inspired Media, will introduce you guys to the speakers. Over to you, Suraj.
Thank you, Bala. Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome on a Friday evening. Thank you all. I see many regulars over here. Hello, everyone. Like Bala said, this is a very interesting session. It is not what we usually talk about into advertising, marketing, media planning, and all the sessions, the previous 25 sessions that all of you have been part of. We thought that Vikram over here and Dr. Kea, as part of his team, are very experienced in the space of training and learning and development. And I will, we thought we should definitely give our members and non-members an experience with what they have done for many people for many years. So let me just quickly introduce Vikram, who is our speaker for today. So Vikram Badhwar has 24 years of experience as an experiential educator, communication and voice coach, keynote speaker, and actor. He has been using experiential methods of education since the nascent stages of experiential methodology in India. He started Syngrity in 2002 and has ever since built space in the industry as a creative solutions provider. He has worked across disciplines and industries for the last 2 decades, using positive psychology, experiential, and holistic methodologies in the space of organizational learning and development. His goal is to build sustainable models that enable transformation at a personal, team, and organizational level. And when we were talking, yesterday, Vikram is also into martial arts and has more than 2 decades of experience. So I'm going to let Vikram, share a bit of about him after this. And over to you, Vikram. Thank you so much for being part of the session today.
Thank you so much, Suraj, and thanks a ton, Bala, for introducing me. Kia, can I request you to please put up the presentation? But may I also request everyone to please switch on their cameras because it's important for us or for me to be able to see what you guys are doing while I take you through some of the exercises. So I know that it's a lot to talk, it's a lot to ask for in this virtual world, but let's take a break. And please switch on our cameras. Yogita, Divya, AC, Vasanti, Venkat, JP, Manish. The mobile number with the last digits at 700 is what I see. Please make that effort. Please switch on that camera. Very important. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a ton. All right, just moving forward, like like Bala, like I was introduced, I run a learning and development organization for the last 23 years. We work at policy levels, we work in leadership, behavior. I like to call it bad behavior, but disciplined bad behavior. I think we are too much of a produce of the post-colonial industrial revolution. So I think we were groomed to be right all the time, and I oppose that whole idea. So we've been trying to talk about various methodologies of learning over the last 23 years. So this is what my organization does, and we work with organizations across the world now in understanding and we use a lot of theater in our methodology, we use a lot of music in our methodology, and that is where the experiential education aspect comes in. So moving on, please. Um, I've been everyone my official stuff was read out, but I'm a voiceover artist, I've been a musician, I've been a martial artist for 29 years. I have studied external martial arts, and when I say external martial arts, these are outside. They're outside of you. It's competitive. I did a lot of taekwondo and capoeira, and now also in the last 24 years, I've been practicing a very internal system called qigong. How many of you, can you just quickly in the chat tell me if you've heard about Tai Chi or qigong? So, to understand it at a very simple level, Tai Chi and Qigong are cousins. Yeah, they're different schools of methodologies, but all these Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, um, these are all spiritual systems. Now, what do I mean by they are spiritual systems? They actually ignite a certain electrical circuit in the body when you practice them. And that is why, there's a saying over here that you cannot be in two boats at the same time, and that is why it is actually advisable to not practice two energy systems or two spiritual systems at the same time. Because if you try to get on to into two boats at the same time, guess what's happening? Yeah, you will definitely get hurt. But in case you like to read a little bit more about the Syngrity story, you can actually just scan the QR code, and it's a story of resilience, I call it. As a micro business, how do you survive? And a lot of us would also resonate as small businesses. How do you survive uh, the onslaught of organizations trying to eat up the small SMEs? And we've all been there. We've all been there. Okay, one of the things, moving on, please. I was 148 kgs when I was 15 years of age. And if I had not gotten stuck coming out of a train, because I had a small bag, I was coming back from boarding school after my class 10th exams. If I wouldn't have gotten stuck coming out of the train, I don't think I would have gotten on to this journey of trying to fix myself. Uh, as you can see, I'm a big guy. I love to eat. At some point, I even changed my relationship with food. But over a period of time of having practiced martial arts, I've represented the country for 2 years. After that, after getting stuck, after being 148 kgs, qualified myself as a as a taekwondo fighter. Got chucked out of the team, and then became an underground fighter for 10 months. How many of you have seen that crazy film of the 80s called Fight Club? Just put down in the chat. Have you heard of that film called Fight Club? If not, you must go and watch it. This is what I used to do. Yeah, this is what I used to do. I used to go and fight for a little bit of money, and now the person who's standing in or sitting on this video call in front of you is somebody who has 50 broken bones. Literally, I broke my 50th bone while rafting the Nile in Uganda 2 years back, and 9 torn ligaments. And my family jokes that every time I wake up in the morning, my entire skeleton has to fit itself, and it becomes quite interesting. But this is one formula I have learned. What does I think good health, and all of you are advertising people. And yesterday while we were talking, there was one thing that we came, that to be able to create, there has to be a space of stillness. And I've been a theater practitioner for 25 years, a musician for equal amount of time. And I realized that every time one had to create something. And I'm not saying you have to sit still, but there has to be a certain amount of stillness that needs to come in. And to me, I think good consumption is the answer. So what are you, physical consumption, what are you eating? What are you feeling? And what are you thinking? And I've been able to really, bring it down to just these three different things. What are we eating? What are we thinking? What are we feeling? Yeah. Um, honest question that requires you can actually just use an emoticon and stuff like that. How many of us are suffering from high blood pressure? How many of us are suffering from diabetes? How many of us are suffering from uh, insomnia? Yeah. How many of us wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and suddenly we don't know what to do? Yeah. How many of us are in a constant state of, like, it's called the amygdala hijack. The amygdala is the part of that brain which is responsible for your flight, fight, freeze syndrome. Yeah. It also, when your amygdala is hijacked, your cortisol levels go up. How do you check? How do you check your cortisol levels are up? Uh, can I request you all to just switch on your cameras? I'm going to remove my glasses. I can still see you, Manish. Thank you. My eyes are not that bad now. Yeah. And I'd like you to just take your wrist. Yeah. Bring your wrist in front of your camera and just press here. Yeah. And you'll see what kind of inflammation, or do you have some inflammation? If you press harder, you'll be able to see inflammation. Some of us. Kavita, I hope you're being driven and you're not driving and testing yourself. So, or over here, you see the center of your eyes are here. Yeah, press here upward. That's your lymphatic system. Yeah, a lot of us are functioning in the space of inflammation. Very simple. You have the pH scale of 1 to 14. 7 is good health. 7.2 to 7.5 is where you go into really healing yourself. So again, what do you eat? What are you eating? What time are you eating? So I did a few things for myself because I was extremely, extremely unhealthy. My blood reports were all over the place, and I had to make some lifestyle shifts because very simply, and COVID taught me that, yeah, while being in the north over here, that you never know when you drop dead. And there's a range of people in their early 40s now who are just, it's called the sudden death syndrome. People actually are just dropping dead. And I've had a personal loss in my own inner family in the last 2 months. Lost my first cousin, uh, mountaineer for 25 years, super fit, super healthy, and went. Yeah, just went. And that is what is happening. So, what is it that you are doing at a physical, emotional, mental level? Yeah, can we just go forward, please? A lot of us suffer from, and I coined this word called the martyrdom syndrome. Yeah. I will only take care of myself when my husband, when my wife, when my child, when my brother, when my mother, when my father is going to get better. How many of us suffer from that? And I must confess, in Indian society, it has been shoved down our throats. Yeah. By the time most of us are in our 30s, all we have different kinds of lifestyle diseases, and mental health issues which were also relevant 30 years back, but now they have a name. So I think one of the, every time you guys take a flight, there is an announcement that in case of an emergency, please wear your mask first before you put on a mask for somebody else. Self-care is not selfish. Yeah. And one of the things that we must be able to take care of is that to get rid of this martyrdom syndrome. Yeah, that can be one thing that you, and whatever it takes, whether it is whether you need to go for counseling to be able to get rid of that martyrdom syndrome, do that. Yeah, whether you need to take something like a concrete, very strong measure, yeah, you must get rid of this, because this martyrdom syndrome will essentially mean that you will take on everyone's stress in your family and in your performance, and you will never have your own little litmus test. Yeah. So on that note, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to stop, yeah, what you're doing. We'll take you through. No, there's one more slide in between. Okay, just go forward, please. Some of the things that I do for myself. Yeah, you will all have your own. Yeah. Can I request you all to actually make a little physical, emotional, mental, uh, like a grid for yourself? And write down what is it that you do for yourself physically? What is it that you do for your emotional well-being? And what is it that you do for your mental well-being? Divya, give us an example. What do you do for your physical, emotional, mental well-being? One example. Think about it. You'll have to unmute yourself, Divya. Sorry, can't hear you.
I think Vaishnavi, you'll have to do that for her.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please unmute Divya so she can share.
So hi.
Hi.
So I used to walk a lot and I used to go to gym. So for emotional thing I used to do, I used to do some gardening kind of a thing at my place.
Okay,
And for mental thing I read some spiritual books and also some self-help books.
lovely. Is there a particular teacher that you read about?
Sorry?
Is there a particular spiritual teacher that you read?
So the book is called The Power of Now.
Eckhart Tolle?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lovely book. It's a
Yeah.
lovely book.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing. Raghav, why don't you tell us what is it that you do for your physical, emotional, and mental good health?
Thank you, Vikram. Thank you for including me here. So, physical, I play badminton, at least 3 days a week or so. Like, we have a group, so that sort of gets together. So
Okay,
that's something I do. I like the sport, so I sort of play. Um, Mental, I do meditation, right? So every second day at least, because I don't. It's so hard to find time, uh, but when I do meditate, it brings a lot of benefits. And you can just feel it, right? You can just feel it. You're in a sort of a better frame of mind. So meditation definitely helps. I've got some mantras from my gurus and stuff, so been initiated and all that. So that really works pretty well, right? I mean, that's pretty much what I do. My off late, my secret my comfort zone has been visiting old temples, down south, right? It's completely deserted. There's nobody, right? Not a soul inside, and you
wow.
just go there and just sit and just and you don't have to really pray, right? You just go there, just the vibes of those places just get you, right? So I think that's been sort of a comfort zone for me personally.
Thank you so much for sharing, Raghav.
Thank you.
Umana, can you tell us what is it that you do for your physical, emotional, and mental well-being? Can I request you to please unmute Umanath? Yes.
To be honest,
I'm not doing anything for my physical right now because earlier I used to go for morning activity. I used to take my kids to the hit the ground around 5:30. Now that they've grown up and he's in abroad, I have to talk to him till 1 a.m. So I sleep late, wake up late, rush to the office. So that's holding me back. So I could reduce my weight from 104 to 84 and now again to hit back to 104. So it's high time. Every now and then, all this, your class and guilt, everything is there. I'm not doing any physical activity to be honest. But emotional, yes. I have a nice joint family. So sitting and conversing with them at the end of the day itself is more than enough for me. And my daughter welcomes me warm despite whatever the kind of situation it is. She engages me so very well that I can forget all my worries and she brings and treats me so very well with all her cooking skills and other things,
Wow.
despite being in 10th standard. So I love and she takes care of my emotions until I leave the house and the moment I go back. That's a kind of comfort I've got recently because she's in the 10th class. So in her examination holidays, making it more available for me. Guilt again. I'm taking her study time. Mental is one convenience I have. I go back to my native. I hang on with my childhood friends and hit the river, swim, and do all activities. Do some farming in my agriculture land, and all is gone. So mentally, I don't have any worries as far as once in a fortnight, I just go back to my native and get myself. From the suit boot, I just get into the lungi world and unwind myself. That's it. Mhm.
That is so lovely. That is so lovely. Uh, if you notice the sometimes the emotional, mental, physical, they crisscross each other. Yeah, if you look at how I'm looking at my emotional well-being, I love to sit in silence. Like, and to me, it just becomes very noisy if there are people around me. I'm also auditory as person, so I get really affected by noise because I'm a musician. So either I'm listening to, good music or I'm trying to, practice a certain tal. I do a form of Qigong called Falun Gong, which is a set of 5 exercises. I consciously, and this is something that we're going to do now, all of us, consciously, I sit down every day to breathe. And I can see the color of my skin change. Yeah, from, when I feel the toxicity in my body is increasing, my skin starts becoming darker in terms of these little granules which are created. And a little shine comes. It's not a soap kind of a thing. It's just like your skin becomes livelier. Yeah. So that happens. Um, I'm an outdoor person. I've been a wildlife and an outdoor person most of my life. So, like, I just had the best weekend last weekend. I was with 30 other people, and we were on the Upper Ganga. We were rafting the Upper Ganga. We were climbing a mountain before that. And I always say I love life at 5 kilometers an hour. And that is where I was. It was fantastic where my mental well-being is so that I don't lose focus. I do a few things. Again, sitting in silence helps me deal with my mind, or whether it's martial arts because it's discipline. So the whole idea is for all of you to figure out, like, create a map. And in fact, what we can do is we can send you a little framework. Yeah, and we'll send it to you. And Suraj, if you can just share it with everyone, it's just a blank sheet of paper. You can just
Sure.
write it down, and it's a good reminder. Yeah, it is a good reminder. Also, just to, with all due respect, we are no longer spring chickens, all of us. I'm presuming we are in our 30s and above. And the and the law of diminishing returns has started. In case there is any other doubt, I'll allow me to assure you, after 32, the law of diminishing returns takes over, which basically says what goes up will plateau and it will come down. So Yeah, given the lifestyle that we live, the kind of microplastics we consume, yeah, that might have started. So, yeah, it might, good health is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity now. And I felt it. I felt it. I still weigh 105 kgs. Um, but healthy 105. Yeah. I could still do by losing another 10 kgs, but I put in a lot of work. Moving on. What I'd like you all to do is I want you to just stop whatever you're doing in case you're trying to type something. Yeah, if you're driving, I know somebody was being driven right now. Uh, I would just like you to sit very comfortably, although in the instruction it'll say lie down. So if you have a choice of lying down, do that. If not, feet well planted on the ground, Divya and Manish. I can see JP. Yeah. Palms facing upward. Put them on your thighs. Very nice. Yeah. I'd like you to stick your tongue up in the mouth. I'm sorry, I'm going to show it to you, so it's not a pretty sight, but so your tongue is up in the mouth. Shut your mouth. You let your teeth not touch, and you're breathing in and out only through the nose. This is, ladies and gentlemen, the natural coolant technology of the human body. This is exactly what keeps your vehicle thanda, cool. And if your body is your temple, is your vehicle, then just breathe in and out through the nose. And you will see every time you're getting worked up, every time you're getting irritated, every time you're getting angry, you realize your thumbs will stiffen. Yeah, as soon as your thumbs stiffen, it starts an entire uh, like a knee-jerk reaction, like a proper, just everything just gets stressed. So this breathing will just help you. And what you will, my colleague is just going to press play. I'd like you to close your eyes for 3 minutes and 29 seconds. If you'd like to switch off your camera, you can also do that for this particular thing. Yeah. And just follow the instructions. Let's start.
Please find a comfortable space to lie down on your back and follow this relaxation program. Be aware of the most natural process that your body performs, breathing. Gently breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in once again and breathe out. Relax your chest while you breathe. Breathe in once again and breathe out. Bring your awareness to your feet. Twitch your toes as you breathe in and feel them relax at the out-breath. Gently breathe in and breathe out. Bring your awareness to your calf muscles. Tighten them at the in-breath and relax as you breathe out. Move along the length of your thigh muscles. Feel the tension flow out as you continue to breathe. Move your attention to the hip and allow the tension to flow out. Gently breathe in and breathe out. Move to your chest. Feel your heartbeat as you breathe and allow your chest muscles to relax. Bring your awareness to the neck and allow it to soften. Allow your jaw to drop open as you relax the facial muscles. Relax the tension in your forehead. Gently breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in once again and breathe out. Move down to your shoulders and allow them to drop. Move to your elbow and slowly push the tension to your wrist and fingers. Feel the tension and take a deep breath. Slowly breathe in and allow the tension to flow out of your fingers as you breathe out. Breathe in once again and breathe out. Breathe in one more time and gently breathe out.
You can slowly open your eyes, be aware of where you are, be aware of who is around you, be aware of life around you. All the noise, the movement, the hustle, the bustle. Manish, how are you feeling? Unmute yourself. Can't hear you.
You're still on mute, Manish. You have to unmute yourself.
Thank you for unmuting. Yes, quite relaxed. It is. It didn't realize it's 3 minutes though.
3 minutes, 29 seconds to be very precise.
Didn't realize it's 3 minutes at all. Absolutely.
Yogita, please unmute yourself and tell us how are you feeling.
Sorry, I can't hear your audio. Could you say it again?
I was asking Yogita for her to share with us.
Sure.
Yogita, please unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi, how are you feeling after the relaxation routine?
It feels good. It just middle of work, taking this break, and it feels really good.
It's a lovely routine, ladies and gentlemen, to practice with your families. So what we'll do is we will send this track to all of you. Please just store it on your phone. Do it as a family. Get your kids, your spouses to shut up for 3 minutes, 29 seconds and to do this together because, when you collectively breathe together, yeah, there is a certain bond that is created. Yeah. So collectively breathing, very, very important. Yeah, I'm going to show you. So there is something I did. Actually, the story started 12 years back at Mahakumbh. Yeah, and I'm sure each one of us is, at least I know we are in the north, and not to withstand all the religious love and affection, but I swear we are so happy that it is over and people can go back to their lives. And, we don't have to see those crazy Instagram reels of fake Naga sadhus dancing in the middle of the in the middle of the street. I don't know how many of you saw it, but it was there. But 12 years back, there was a Naga sadhu at the Juna Akhada in Hardwar who I was sitting with, and he observed something in me, and he told me in Hindi, which I'll translate, and said that till the time you eat 3 meals a day, you will never be able to grow. And I was also one cocky, stubborn young man at that time. So I turned around and told him that, Maharaj, don't worry, I will change my relationship with food. And I did. Since the start of COVID, I have been training my body to eat 1 meal a day. And I take my body to, sometimes I've tried it 3 times, or being on a 5-day fast. I've tried it about 4 or 5 times to be on a 3-day fast. And now it has become a way of life for me. So the following things happened when I started fasting. My need for sleep disappeared because my body doesn't need that kind. So 4.5, 5 hours of sleep a night, and I'm fresh as a daisy. That's number one. Number two, today, and it's a gradual way in which I've started doing this. By the way, I still cheat whenever there is good food, but I have to pay a price the next day, which is pretty much like life. Yeah, but I do cheat. Sometimes it's very interesting. But when I want to cheat, I cheat without feeling guilty. Yeah, the important part is I don't feel guilty about it. Yeah, and then I came across this video about 5 years back or 4.5 years back, where there is a cardiologist called Dr. Jamana Das. Dr. Jamana Das, although the video that we'll show you, he sounds very angry, but he's usually not that bad, I hear. But I saw this 2 hour long video, which we've condensed in 1 minute for all of you, and where he talks about fasting and what it does to the body. And you know what? It has worked. My HbA1c, I'm type 2 diabetic, which is one of the damages I did to myself in the last many years of indulgences, in spite of practicing martial arts and this, that, and the other. My HbA1c was at a 12.5. I should have moved to taking an insulin, and I brought it down to 7.5. Baby steps, but it's been a journey. So Kia, can we just play that video, please?
Why do you want to fast? Because your insulin levels will come down with fasting. If you don't eat, what happens to your insulin levels? They go down because insulin is only brought on by eating. That's why I make you fast. That's why if you're a patient at CVI, you have to eat only once a day or twice a day. If you're going to eat twice a day, you start out with that eating, but you must eat in a 6-hour window. And then no eating the rest of the 18 hours. If you're constantly eating, you're making too much insulin. So you want to fast so that your insulin levels come down. So then after fasting for 18 or 24 hours, when you then do eat, you're sensitive to insulin. So your pancreas will only make this much insulin with the next meal versus a whole gallon before. So eating in a fasting state produces small insulin than eating in a fed state, where you produce a lot of insulin. We are always eating in a fed state. Why are you eating if you just fed?
He looks angry in this video when we were when we were looking at this, and I'm like, why is Dr. Jamna Das looking angry? But this is actually a lecture he's giving to fellow doctors at the Florida hospital where he works. Yeah. Many seers and even Sadhguru has spoken about it. I'm a big fan of Jiddu Krishnamurti. And one of the things that he said was that the source of all disease lies here, while he pointed to his mouth, and which also referred to what we are speaking and what we are eating. Yeah. So, and it's been a journey, but something to experience, something to try. Actually, if you think of it, your body doesn't need food 3 times a day. But each of our bodies are very different. But I give it a shot. Start with once a week and see what it does to you. You'll be cranky for a couple of weeks. It's okay. Your families will love you. No wonder, or they will love you. Yeah, they might not love you for those 2 cranky weeks, but they will definitely get to love you. So there's another video of Sadhguru. I'm going to skip that in the interest of time. But even he talks about giving your bodies long breaks. Get your body to relax, which also means that your digestive system. There is a lovely book, Kia, if you can just write it down on the chat or somebody can, called The Gut by Julia Enders. Julia Enders, Enders. Thanks, Raghav. Thank you very much. Moving on. It's a very simple thing. How many of you saw Kill Bill? Did you all watch Kill Bill? Just with a emoticon or something like that? With a chat? Yeah. obviously, there's this whole scene when Uma Thurman, after she escapes from the hospital, she constantly talks to herself because she was in a coma. And then after 8 hours, her body starts responding of her constantly talking. That stuff is real. I was paralyzed in 2013. I had some kind of facial and my extremity paralysis, which I was able to fix just through constantly talking to my body and practicing Qigong. Never took a single medicine. Never took a single medicine. Told my family to not interfere and saying I'll take help when I require. Moving on. So I want to show you guys 3 different kinds of breathing. So just, yeah, I want you to look very, very carefully. There are 3 kinds of breathings that your body allows you. I want you to put one hand on your chest, please. Yeah. And I want you to put one hand on your tummy. And I want you to just breathe. Normal breathing. Just breathe. Breathe about 15, 20 times. What is happening? What is happening to you? What is happening to your chest? I can see from Umanath's, what I can see of Umanath, the chest is rising. Yeah. A lot of us, ladies and gentlemen, we end up breathing like this. Just once again, just put your hand on your chest, one on your tummy. Yeah. Now let's just go back to class 6th or class 5th physics. If you fill in air in a plastic bag, will the plastic bag become bigger or smaller? It will become bigger, right? Yeah. Now put your hand on your chest again and on your tummy. What happens when your chest rises? Your stomach will go in. Put your hands on your, let's do it together. I want you to exaggerate on your chest. See, your chest is risen and your stomach has gone in, which is against the natural process because you should be able to put, if you put air into a bag, that bag should become bigger. Yeah, this is called fool's breath. Most of us, ladies and gentlemen, end up getting stuck in the fool's breath. Most of us. Yeah, the fool's breath is great when you want to make a decision. Yes, no, should I do this? Should I not do this? Black, white, I need to fire this person or not fire this person. Yeah, or I need to say yes to this project or I need to say no to this project. It's your fool's breath is great because it allows you to function in a space of duality. Yes, no, should I not? Yeah, but this is not the natural state of breathing. Yeah, now I'd like you to put your hand on your chest again and one hand on your tummy again. And let's move to the next slide. This is where the Sears breath comes in. Now, I want the hand which is there on your chest. I want you to tell your hand to tell your chest, don't move. Yeah. The only thing that will happen is when you breathe in, your stomach becomes bigger. Tell your stomach to fill up with air. Now, for some of you, for the ones who are used to the fool's breath, the chest rising, the stomach will flutter. It's almost like the muscle inside or the muscle memory inside is saying, I don't recognize this. So just put your hand on your chest, put one hand on your tummy. And as you breathe in, tell the chest, don't move. It'll sound a bit strange, but you can actually say it out loudly. Don't move. And you breathe in. Let your tummy become bigger. Remember, when you do breathing, you'll feel very yawny. Yeah. So breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. This is great when you are creating stuff. The Sears breath is great when you have to create stuff, when you are in the creative when you're working on a campaign, because it will switch your brain from beta to alpha. Best ideas come in when your brain is in alpha state. Yeah, the beta state is where you're consciously working. In alpha, you're contemplating. Yeah, you will also realize that your voice becomes deeper when you are doing the seer's breath. But like somebody told me a very long time back, saying, if we are going to only be doing the seer's breath, then who's going to work? So then we said, let's go on to the next slide. Then we said there should be something called the warrior's breath. So I'd like you to put your hand on your diaphragm, on your rib cage here. Where you see this, I'll just move my, very good. And the job of your hands, you tell both your hands that you will not let the rib cage expand. You are no longer focusing on your chest or your tummy. You're focusing on this expansion. And please allow me to assure you, your rib cage is not going to expand 10 inches. No, it's not. It'll be a very small shift. So just gently breathe in and breathe out. If you look at this GIF, you will see my chest is not rising, my tummy is not is not becoming bigger. I'm just breathing in. So breathe in. It's very gentle. Very nice. Let's do this together. Let's do this about 15, 20 times. Let's do this together. Let your rib cage expand. And the rib cage does not move big. It's very small, but let that expand. Your breath will become shorter. Your chest and your stomach will not get so activated. It's only your rib cage, only your rib cage. So just let's breathe in. Breathe in again. Breathe in one more time. One more time. If you feel you're getting slouchy, keep breathing. Yeah, this breathing will straighten your posture out. You cannot be lethargic when you're doing this breathing. This breath will not allow you to be lethargic. Breathe in again. Breathe in again. Breathe in one more time. 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 Very good. And you will notice when you're consciously breathing, different parts of your mind start getting activated. Your body the change is different in different people. So what I need you all to do is, for the next 1 week, as a conscious effort, we will send you that relaxation routine. We'd really like you to practice that with your families. Yeah, whether it's with your parents or your spouse or your siblings or your children or whoever. Yeah. And 1,000 times a day, warrior's breath, conscious. 1,000 times. And 1,000 doesn't sound, it sounds worse than it is. Yeah. But just bring your awareness. As soon as your fool's breath starts, this chest rising, stop it, move to warrior's breath. Just that consciousness is required. All that is required is that consciousness. All right. Moving on, please. Now, this is where I'd like you to, the moderator, please unmute everyone. These are the questions that you need to answer for yourself. So when we send you that little framework of physical, emotional, mental, just as a one-pager thing, we will send you this. How do you pursue emotional well-being? Some of you answered that question in the beginning. What practices or habits currently support your overall well-being? How did you develop them? And I'm sure it didn't come easily. I'm 100% sure. If you could make one small but impactful change today to improve your well-being, what would it be? What support or resources do you need to maintain a sustainable well-being practice? Not like a diet fad. These 2 weeks diet karega, uske baad, you lose 3 kgs and you gain 6 kgs. I've been there, done that. The ones who are wanting to explore it, please don't do that. How do you plan to integrate well-being into your daily routine in a way that feels achievable? I think you don't need to take out 2 hours. You don't need to take out 1 hour. You don't need to take out even half an hour. You don't even sometimes need to take out 15 minutes. There are like you are going in making a pitch, you are nervous, and suddenly, in Hindi, the phrase is bolti band hona, like suddenly you feel your voice is not coming out. Just k k k g g g g g g k k k. These two sounds, k and g, will open the back of your throats. So as soon as you feel any stress, yeah, that will not happen. All right. So these are questions, we will send them to you. Send them to you for you to really reflect. And we are happy to get onto a call afterwards. And if you'd like to understand a few more things, because this is just very, very the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of work which has gone in. Yeah, we also like to write and we also like to post a lot of stuff. So, may I request you all, okay, just go to the barcode. You can quickly scan this. Just scan this with your phones, please. This is our LinkedIn page. This is our LinkedIn page. Just very quickly, you can subscribe to our LinkedIn page. We like to post 3 times a week. Yeah, and we do a lot of stuff around storytelling. So one of our core skills is to how do you tell effective stories? We've actually worked with advertising firms and saying why with bunch of ads which made it, which didn't make it, deconstructed. We use design thinking principles and theater, and getting to value propositioning. So that also happens. So just feel free. You can stop sharing the screen. Any questions that you might have, I promise I can only try. There is one question which has come in and saying, I've been diagnosed with peripheral neuro issues, non-diabetic. How can I live rest of my life without medication? I am not qualified to answer that question, but you can send me a WhatsApp hi at this number, and I can introduce you to this fantastic naturopath and homeopath that I met based out of Bangalore, lives in Bangalore. He has fixed my mother. My mother is end stage kidney failure, and my mother is suffering from multiple myeloma, which is the kind of blood cancer. And we refused to go the chemo way because we saw that in the case of my father, and that it didn't work. By the end of 15 chemos, all I had was a dead father. So, um, but we didn't go the chemo way, and my mother's cancer is in remission. So I can send you, his name is Dr. Saeed Tahir Hassan. I can send you his number, and yeah, he's not too far, Bangalore. Go and meet him. He also does, a phone consultation. You can give my reference. Yeah.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for that interactive session, Vikram. We have about 2 questions as of now, and since everyone's cameras switched on, please feel free to ask Vikram the question. The first one comes from Raghav, which says Vikram has a lot of interesting experiences from what we can see. What is the most moving spiritual experience you've had?
Mhm. I might give you a very disappointing answer to that. One of the things that and I've been pursuing spiritual and esoteric practices for a very long time. Yeah, and one of the things I realized is that your tongue and your clothes and all don't make a difference. Yeah. Uh, Spirituality is not about being 2 inches off the ground, rather. It is about how grounded you are. And this is one lesson that I've learned. And somebody asked me this question, so how do you embody this in your daily life? Not in a very big, large ways, but when I'm walking, yeah, I will ensure that I don't step on any of the insects consciously. Yeah. At one level, it could be that small little thing that I might have experienced. That could be my spiritual ascension. That consciously, and in Falun Gong and Qigong, that we practice, we have a 3-step thing. You have truthfulness at a thought level, benevolence, which is compassion, and forbearance, which is your ability to tolerate. So if one is looking at truthfulness and benevolence, I will ensure that consciously I don't go killing around insects or flies or mosquitoes. Now, I'm also an adventurer, so I spend a lot of times in the forest. How tough my spirituality is questioned over there, I can't tell you, because at some point I'm like, let's burn them down, but then no. Yeah. So it's a constant question and it's a constant negotiation. Yeah.
Second question comes from Anbu, which is Vikram. The alarm clock goes at 4 a.m., but mine says turn it off and go back to sleep. How do you break this pattern?
Uh, Read up something about switch words. Yeah, switch words were research which were done on certain words in the 60s by the US Army. Yeah, switch words are certain words which actually start working on switching your mind on, off, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so the switch word for going off to sleep or to break habits is off. Simple practices, like for example, if I'm lolling around in bed just before I'm going off to sleep and I'm on my foolish Instagram and watching stupid reels, I've negotiated with myself one thing. Yeah. As soon as that little first happens, I will shut everything down. That's a negotiation I've made with myself. That if that jhabki is happening, at the first jhabki, I will switch everything off and go off to sleep. So it's a constant negotiation. I'm sorry.
Right. Awesome. So I think we've got one question from Uma, which says how to arrest the postponing tendency on wellness goals and end up cheat almost every day.
Martyrdom syndrome, Umar. Martyrdom syndrome. Yeah, when we are looking for external validation for our lives, and now that we are in our 40s, 50s, 60s, yeah, we are also thinking that ho gaya, it's done. Now I find my peace in outside, in my child, in my grandchild, and so on and so forth. And this is one of the biggest mistakes because your kids are going to go away. Yeah, they'll fly off, and that is a reality of life. I left home when I was 21. I came back. Now I'm 45. Now I've come back to take care of my mother. Yeah. And and this is a reality, is if you're looking for anything outside of us, it's temporary. Yeah, it's temporary. Uh, how do you arrest the postponing tendency on wellness goals? It is that, or it is a sorbitrate in the mouth. I'm sorry, I say it as is. Yeah. I don't have easier ways of saying it, but we are all in that age group where we all have to keep some kind of medicine. I've still not reached there because I'm constantly fighting it. But if you are stressed, if yeah, it's either that or really start, you just have to, it doesn't have to be a big ghanti at a temple, for us to enter it. Yeah. So please do. Okay. What kind of diet did you follow? Anything? How do you manage yourself with one meal a day when you are into physical workout? Divya, you have to train yourself. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen naturally. It doesn't happen immediately. It happens over a period of time. You have to train your body. It took me 2 years. Yeah, it took me 2 years for my body to start getting used to. But like I said, I was not going to war. I had nothing to prove to anyone. Um, so when I wanted to cheat, I cheated. Now I've reached a stage where if I eat 2 meals a day, I will enjoy them, but my next day is a mess. Yeah. So, what kind of diet did I follow? I am a pakka non-vegetarian. Yeah, and in that one meal a day, when I'm eating my evening meal, I don't see what I obviously I'm 40, I'm in my mid 40s, so I can't tolerate too much of fried food and all that jazz. Yeah, I also realized I love my bhat, I love my rice, I love my roti, and I need a wholesome meal. I don't uh, do any parades. What is the best period for 24-hour fasting? Either morning to next day, or lunch to next day, or dinner to next day. JP, find your rhythm. Yeah, find your rhythm. For me, I realized that I need to go to sleep with a happy tummy. Yeah, so that happy tummy is my thing. Um, so I fast from dinner to dinner. So you'll have to find your rhythm. A lot of people say skip your dinner, have your breakfast. Some people say have your lunch. You'll just have to find your rhythm. Yeah. It's not that, like the Chinese start training their kids at the age of 3 to become gymnasts and stuff like that. We've crossed that stage. So right now, there is no one framework. Umanath has to do this or JP has to do this. It has to be but you have to do ye karna hai, ye karna hai, ye karna hai. I have to do this, and this. Yeah. But you have to choose what is your this and what is that, and what are your vices, and you have to have that conversation with yourself. All right. So great. So just feel free to reach out. Yeah, best way to reach out is also via LinkedIn page. You would have scanned the space, or if you haven't, just type Syngrity, Syngrity on LinkedIn, Syngrity Transformation Solutions, and just reach out to us. And we are happy to help you, your organization, um, and so on and so forth. So on that note, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure. Suraj, all yours.
Thank you so much, Vikram. I think this by far has been one of the most interactive sessions we've had, where you got all of us to participate and, interact with you, though we're sitting across the screen. But thank you for that super interactive session. And I think it was also calming in many ways. So thank you so much, Vikram, for taking the time out, and Dr. Kia as well. Kia as well. So thank you, both of you. I'd let Umanath give the vote of thanks, and over to you, Umar.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Thank you, Suraj and Vikram. It was a wonderful session. So, whenever we look at young professionals in advertising media industry passing away, we all hit an RIP and then we just move on to the next day without worrying much. But it always hurts when a near and dear one or the best friend who met you on another client's place or an agency 2 days before is no more within 48 hours. It's unbelievable. We all in state of shock. So these are things that we witness very often nowadays. So it hurts and just move on. But how we can it was a guilt constantly. Like we are realizing, but we are not doing anything. So today, through this insight view, we have done a bit of ours for the industry, particularly the media advertising. entertainment community through Madras Advertising Club. With this session, we tried our bit to focus on the wellness aspect of all of us, and it gives us great pleasure and feels very satisfying that we have done this. And Vikram, you have done it very engaging way, and it was really fulfilling. It's like practically you gave some experiences that made us to practice it so that we can replicate it at least. Like one or two will also do a lot of change, I believe. So thank you so much. Even I myself, I've been postponing things for almost a year. 2019, I met a guru like you, and then I managed to fall into the track and nearly reduce around 20 kgs. Again, bounce back. So today, let Vikram be the person awakening me for another round of wellness tenure, actually. Okay.
And that is what we need. We need an ecosystem like this. You don't need gurus, you don't need anyone. You need your own ecosystem. You have a fantastic ecosystem at the advertising club. Yeah, like just a constant messaging, like just, a message. If there is a group, just a message and saying, hey, did you do your breathing today? Suraj, you could do that, or Bala, you could do that. Just like, did you do your warrior's breath? And we'll send you all this material so you can share it with each other. But you don't need somebody external. One of the biggest fallacies of Western colonization was to keep world exclusive of us. We come from a space of Advaita. Each one of us is connected at, in a very non-dual way. Yeah, there are different facets of connection. There are different facets of how people are connected. So create that ecosystem. A phrase that Kia created a few years back is saying an ecosystem of allyship. And that allyship is not only it doesn't even work with strengths, or it doesn't even work only with skills. Yeah, if I know that somebody in my circle is unwell, every morning as a routine, I will send a message. Are you feeling okay? How are you feeling? If we can do that, or just send a message out and saying, hey, did you do your breathing? Or did you use this one breath, this relaxation routine that I'm going to send you? So create that. You don't look outside of, there is a lovely song. It's like a song that says, don't follow the guru. You are the guru. Yeah. So there is no guru, is just the person who shows the light. Yeah. And that light is going to come from you. That is it. So on that note, thank you very much. Yeah.
Great, Vikram. So with this, another session of InsightView webinar series comes to an end. And before signing off, I would like to thank the sponsor Vijay TV, creative partner Presto, and media partner ourselves Media News for You. Looking forward to engaging you in another session in fortnight's time. Thank you all. Have a nice weekend. Signing off. Once again, thank you very much, Vikram, for this wonderful session. Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so much, Vikram and Dr. K.
Thanks a ton, guys. Thanks a ton. Yeah, let's stay
Thank you,
connected.
Vikram. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you. Thank
everyone.
you so much, Vikram.